Hey, what's going on everyone? Quintana here, and in today's video, I'm going to go over my personal settings for the Leica SL2 and how I have specifically customized all the buttons in order for me to work more efficiently whenever I'm on location or at a shoot. So stick around. Let's roll that intro. Can someone? Hey, yep, yeah, roll it. All right, there we go. Alright guys, so this video, I thought the best way to go about doing this is going to be to change up the view a little bit. So bear with me, it's a new style. Let me know what you think about it, and we'll go from there. Alright, cool. Alright guys, so as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 customizable buttons. So let's go ahead and dive into those first, and then we can dive into actual menu and see what sort of settings we have here. It's a little hard and a little confusing for me because right now I have 2 cameras right in front of me. So I have my main camera and then I have a detail camera to show the actual Leica. So this is gonna be a little weird, but we're gonna make it work. Let's do this shit. So here we are, SL2. Let's go ahead and turn her on. No SD card, typical. And let's go ahead and start with the menu, shall we? So go into menu. Now the first thing you're gonna see here is a new custom menu. Now this is super cool because it's a quick menu. So you can access all your favorite menu options right from this visual kind of quick menu. And the other thing about it is the fact that it is touchscreen. So here I'm changing the shutter speed just by touching. Here I can change the mode, which is whoops, there we go, which is super handy. ISO even. This, I mean, it's awesome, very responsive. And then down here are kind of like my favorites. So here, if I go DNG, you can change it, swiping, that's super nice. Now you can go manual focus, also change it. Oh, and the SL2 has this new autofocus feature called IAF, which is intelligent autofocus, which we will definitely be going over in a separate video when I go more in depth. And here as well, the other new feature to the autofocus system is the autofocus profiles. So I can switch between these. Sorry, whoops. There we go. And it basically sets up the autofocus to what your subject matter is. So you see I switched it to wildlife. You see field movement +1, shift in direction +2. I go to runner, field movement -1, depth sensitivity +1, team sports, children's and pets. This is typically what I normally leave it on. You can kind of play with them if you want, but typically for people and portraits, this is kind of what I leave it on. Now going back, again, like I said, you can kind of just move around and just kind of deal with the whole menu with this quick menu here. Now, if I was to hit the menu button one more time, then that gives you your favorites menu, but in the more traditional sense. So these are the menu options that I use the most, so I keep them in my favorites. And I can either go to the main menu by scrolling all the way down and hitting main menu here, or I can hit menu one more time. And now you see it went from the little star over to the number here, and now you're in the absolutely full menu here. So I can scroll down and see page 2, page 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you can go back as well. Now, one thing that I've always loved about Leica is the simplicity. And if you've ever used a Sony camera before, you'll know that Sony's all about sub-menus and hidden menus and just, God, way too many menus. We don't need any of that stuff. This is all we need. Simplicity. Just straight to the point. That's all I like. So that's always been a driving force for me wanting to shoot with Leicas, because of their minimalistic approach to how they design their cameras. Now, going to the custom buttons. First one, function button here. If I long press, here is where you can actually change what this button does. So you can select a plethora of different options here. As you can see, there's, almost anything you want, really. Now, if I was to just click it once, I have it set to, it changes my display. So going from, your normal display to a completely empty display, one that shows my histogram and the focus peaking. That's what this little icon over here is. And then one with a grid and a leveler. So I like to keep that here because when I'm switching from photo to video, it's nice to have the grid when you want video and you have the leveler. Typically though, when I'm shooting, I usually have my histogram up here and then my focus peaking. And this is the menu that I usually use at all times. Now, let's go up to the top and let's work on these two buttons. So the first button, top left, this is what's gonna switch you from video back to photo. And as you can see, it's kind of just like the SL where you can switch back and forth. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if I was to click on menu, going back to this quick menu here, and I swipe, I'm in video mode. And that's awesome. Look at that. That's, well, whoops. Let's ignore what I'm doing. Well, maybe it's not as smooth as I thought. It's still pretty smooth. You just have to hit it in the right spot. But I can also just click the actual words here and you're switching back and forth. Or I can come to the button and switch back and forth. So that's one thing that I thought was super cool that Leica added. One other thing I want to make sure for you to know is the fact that, let's say I go into the main menu here, your menu is actually going to look different when you're in video mode when compared to when you're in photo mode. And I think that's actually really cool because you can actually set up your menu to be exactly the way you need it to be for whatever purpose you're doing. So if I know that I am just shooting photography all day, I want certain items available to me at all times when I'm shooting. And then if I know I'm gonna be shooting video, I'm gonna set up the menu in a way that I can get to the quick video settings. That way I'm not fumbling around a bunch of different menus all the time. So I think that's an awesome feature that Leica threw into their new SL2. Now, going on to the next customizable button, which is the top right one. Here, when you click it, I have it set to be my ISO. So here you can either use the joystick or the nubbin, as I like to call it, or you can also touchscreen as well, which is awesome. Now, just like the function button, you hold that button down, and again, you can switch it to be a plethora of different things. Now, moving on to the front of the camera, you have these two buttons here that are both customizable. Now, the top one, when I click it, it actually gives me my drive mode. So here I can switch single, low speed, medium speed, high speed, very high speed. I actually have not used very high speed yet, and I'm kind of excited to use it. I'm still looking for the right subject, but if you listen, no, well, it's not gonna work. I need an SD card. I don't have one handy with me. So you just have to take my word for it. You'll just have to, now, if I click the top button, that is going to take me to my drive mode. And typically I'm shooting in single, but if I want, let's say I'm shooting my model and I want her dress to be kind of flowing in the wind. So I want her to do a lot of quick movements, walking around, dancing around, anything to get the actual dress or whatever outfit she's wearing to be moving. I'll usually go up to medium speed. Now, if I'm shooting something like, you know, cars racing, dogs running around or something like that, maybe I'll put it into high speed. I actually have not tried very high speed yet, but I will definitely be testing that out in the near future. You also have self timer, interval, exposure bracketing, and multi-shot. Multi-shot is a new feature in the SL2. I still haven't really used it yet. If you have the SL2 and have used this type of drive mode, please let me know in the comments below. I'm very curious as to how people are using that. Now, oh, whoops. Well, no, I don't want to leave it on that. Let's put it back on single. There we go. Now, again, that was the top customizable button. So now we're gonna go down to the bottom customizable button. And for that, I have it set to autofocus mode. Typically, I'm shooting in spot. That's what I got used to with the SL. Now, I have been trying to use the face and body detection a little bit more, especially when I'm shooting with models, because the autofocus system is more intelligent than what the SL was. I found for the most part, it's pretty good. I think there's still room for improvement. I sort of wish that Leica would have gone away from contrast-based autofocusing and moved over to the dual, I think it's called dual pixel autofocusing. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but whatever autofocus system the new Canon cameras are using, I really wish Leica would have gone that route, but you know, Leica does their own thing, so that's fine. It has improved. I will say it has improved from what the SL was prior to the SL2, but still, you know, it's not the best autofocus system out there. But yeah, typically I'm on spot, and that I use again with the custom button up there, and click in, you go into the menu, and you get out of it by clicking again. Now again, if I hold and long press it, you can switch it to be whatever your heart desires. So those are pretty much the customizable buttons and how I have them set up for my personal use. All right guys, so that's just a quick overview of how I set up my SL2 for when I'm out taking photographs. I know we went into the menu a little bit and kind of talked about the video and the switching between back and forth between photo and video, but I really want to dedicate an entire video to just the video aspects of this camera and my specific settings and all the capabilities that this camera can do when it comes to video, because it's a lot and I want to make sure I cover everything, so I wanted to make sure to keep that a separate video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really does help me a lot. And if you are not subscribed yet and like the content that I'm putting out there, definitely think about subscribing. We'd love to have you on the channel. And remember, I post videos, there we go, of photography, videography, working with models, working with agencies, working within the fashion industry, and basically just being a content creator in 2020. So if you're into that kind of stuff, definitely think about following along. And if you have any other specific questions, you know the drill, just leave it down in the comments below and I will try to get to them as quickly as I possibly can. Definitely have a lot more videos coming out, hopefully in the near future. This might actually be my last video in this kind of setup. I am moving soon and we'll have a whole new backdrop going on. This one has served me well, I will say, but I'm excited for the future and what it holds and what I'll be able to make of the new space and these videos. So stay tuned for that. By the way, I did have some people slide into my DMs. No, I am not sponsored by Yeti, though if anyone at Yeti is possibly watching this, please think about sponsoring. Look at this product placement. I mean, come on, right? And also this new color green is whoever came up with the idea. Just thank you, good sir. I have a plethora of Yeti bottles, and this one I think is my favorite so far. Besides one that I got because it was a groomsman gift and it has my name on it, so that one's definitely my favorite. But this is a completely close second. But I digress. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys. I'm done. Okay, go enjoy one of these videos here on the side. Would love it if you guys went and check those out if you haven't already. Okay. Have a awesome rest of your week. Bye guys.